That's like wake up time for you though.
It is 6:06 in the morning. So
Oof,
I woke up at quarter
it's
two.
early wake.
Yeah. It's something I got to start doing more because man, the day just goes so quick when you wake up late.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I really gotta start doing that as well.
Do you live in a
Yeah, you just
yurt,
feel so
bro?
much more productive. Sorry, say again.
Do you live in a yurt? I'm just seeing the background now.
It is basically like a little yurt. I actually live at like my grandparents' house, and this is like a separate little house. It's the only like area where I can get privacy. So this is where I'm doing this from. There's a
Dude,
bunch of
that's
people at the house, so
that's
yeah.
skits. So the property you live on, is that kind of like a bit of an eco vibe to it? It would have to be having a yurt on it.
Kind of. It's called the Mumitalo. It's just kind of like this separate little building. If there's like too many people at the house, I just stay here. It's kind of convenient. It's a nice little empty room, kind of like a cylindrical thing going on. But yeah, I've been staying here. If there's too many people at the house, kind of got like a commune kind of thing going on at my grandparents' house. So I live here with a couple uncles, my mom. So it's like six of us who live together here.
Yeah, right.
So it's not,
Actually,
yeah.
that commune idea, that brings me to my first thing I wanted to talk with you about. So, obviously, you've been making videos, and you mentioned in one of your videos that you grew up in China. What was the
Correct.
so did your parents just want to work over there, or what was the reason that they moved your family there?
I don't think they really had a plan initially. So my grandparents, they were all doing missionary work. They like traveled for most of their lives. A bunch of children. My mom has 8 siblings, so they just kind of traveled the world, like India, Sri Lanka, Greece. They like moved all over, and I think they just wanted to see what China was like. And my mom and dad, I guess, decided to go and join them, and they just seemed to really like it, so they stuck around for like 18 years.
Wow.
But no plan. They just kind of figured it out along the way.
Dude, that's crazy. I'm just going to turn this on Do Not Disturb because Discord tends to pop around this time. So, how old were you when your family moved to China?
I think I was two or three, something around there. I was still a baby.
Yeah, okay. So, your earliest memories were basically being there in China.
Pretty much, I have like a couple very vague memories of being in Italy before they moved there, but pretty much China was my first memories.
So, you'd be fluent in Mandarin?
Yeah, it's pretty rusty right now, but I do speak Chinese.
Yeah. And so your parents were missionaries as well?
Kind of. They were kind of like getting out of it around that time. I think uh, it was kind of forced onto them. It really wasn't really voluntary.
Mm.
Just their parents were very much missionaries. So by the time they turned like 18, they kind of had freedom and they were kind of doing their own thing. They kind of left like when they became adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how old were you when you moved out of China then? From the age of 2 till.
About 18. It was like right around the time COVID started. So like 2019, the end of 2019, 2020. About
Dude,
5 years.
that's a
5
long
years ago.
time. Yeah. I
Yeah.
I can't imagine how different your perspective would be spending basically most of your life in a country like China and then coming back to the US Whereabouts are you living now?
Finland right now.
Oh, you're in
I've actually never lived. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. Okay. So, dude, did you go to a Western school in China, or were you always in a Chinese school?
So until I was about 10 or 11, we went to like just public Chinese school, which was pretty intense. Honestly, I have like a lot of blocked out memories from that period. I don't know if it's just because I was too young or maybe like some subconscious, you know, suppression. I don't know. But yeah, by the time I was like 11, my parents were kind of seeing what Chinese school was doing to us, so they wanted to get us out. I was like very much being programmed to be like a little commie, like very disturbing beliefs,
What
and
sort of
the way they
things?
teach you.
What sort of things were you?
Uh, there's like one thing in particular. They would. I remember like making some racist comments, and I was like 9 or 10, and they were like programming racism, which is really weird because you're white kids being programmed to hate foreigners. And then like the way they teach you as well, it's all like memorization. There's no critical thinking whatsoever.
Mm,
So like the way I was learning math, it was all times tables. I had no like conceptualization of like addition or any of that stuff. It was all just like memorization and times tables. So like transitioning from that into American school, we started going to an international school. That was like a real difficulty for me because I had to like relearn everything in a completely new language. So yeah, it was pretty trippy. But yeah, anyways, my parents saw that they did not like the direction that we were heading, so they moved us to a international school.
bro, I can't imagine what that would be like. So,
Yeah,
yeah, man, like, I reflect on my upbringing with religious programming, and that was a good, I suppose that was a good 16 to 18 years for me.
mm,
And it took me a long time to undo a lot of that, and I'm still undoing a lot of it. It's a process. But yeah, living in a country like that, where I suppose it's probably even deeper, because of the way that they do program their people to be suspicious of outsiders, and just like learning everything just by rote, no critical thinking.
mm.
Did you ever feel did you ever feel like you had a point where you started waking up from being like an NPC, or did you always kind of have this rebellious, independent thinking side of you?
I think it's always kind of been there. The way me and my brother we were just like very different from the get go. So I think there's always been this part of me that like did not appreciate the way things were like taught to us and all the programming. But then like as time went on, you kind of like wake up more and more to the way things are. Yeah, I really didn't have a understanding of how deep the programming was until you kind of stepped out of it. And yeah, looking back now, it's pretty intense. A lot of reprogramming needed to be done to
Mm,
get to where I am now.
yeah. But I mean, there would have been some other good things that you gained from being steeped in that culture, I'm sure. There would have been some benefits. What would some of those have been for you?
I'd say just like having a very broad perspective on like culture and life, and like I can have like a lot of compassion for people. I feel like that's a pretty good trait of mine. Like I can really understand like how programming can like really get its grips into you. And yeah, like I traveled a lot when I was a kid, so I got to see like lots of different cultures. Thankfully, my parents were very into traveling, even though they weren't very well off. They made like traveling a priority, so I got to go all over Asia, and I would come back to Europe occasionally. So you'd kind of get to see like different walks of life everywhere I went. Yeah, I'd say that's a big one.
You also had an experience over there, which you mentioned in one of your videos, which left a deep imprint on you. The 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 graffiti on the building. Can you tell us that story?
Yeah, sure thing. So, so one night my mom was out of the house. Me and my brother were alone at home. We had like got some spray, hairspray bottles, I think, from like a school festival thing. And my brother thought it was a good idea to. I don't think we really like had a plan. We just like went out with these cans, spray paint cans. I think we like bought some beers, had a drink, and kind of walked around the streets late at night. Stumbled across this building. Like I didn't really know what it was. It was just like huge, very judicial, communist, like brutalist building. I'd seen it before, but again, I didn't really know what it was. Anyways, we like kind of walked by, and my brother had the great idea of spray painting on it. Around that time, we were being exposed to like watching like YouTube videos about the things the Communist Party was doing, like Hong Kong, like Tibet, but it was like very surface level. We didn't like really know what we were doing, which is kind of these ideas that were fed to us through like YouTube videos. So yeah, anyways, we very stupidly went and spray painted "Fuck the Chinese government," "Free Tibet," and the Umbrella Party. And yeah, about like two days later, we're kind of like going on. I kind of like forgot about it, to be honest. I didn't think it was that big a deal. 2-3 days later, we're going up the elevator coming back from school, and there's this guy like speaking on his walkie-talkie. We walk into the elevator and we ask him like, "Oh, what floor are you going to?" And he just kind of ignores us. And I was like, "Okay, he's good. I guess he's going to our floor." We get out of the elevator. He just kind of stands there. Don't really know what's going on, but yeah, we go into the house. There were 2 bathrooms in the house, funnily enough. So me and my brother went to the bathroom straight away, and then someone comes and knocks on the door. My mom opens the door, and she's just like freaking out. There's like 20, 30 cops in the hallway. It's like shouting at her. He's like, "Where are they? Where are they?" And I think they had thought we were like adult men, like adult American spies. I guess I was like 14 or 15. My brother was about 16. And yeah, anyways, we come out of the toilet, like I'm fucking freaking out. I'm like kind of like trying to argue with these cops, and they're like trying to break their way into the apartment. Yeah, anyways, like we kind of argue with them for a little bit. They're like, "You know what you did, you know what you did." And it took me a second. I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah, this is not good." Anyways, long story short, that building was like the highest judicial court building in Shanghai at the time, and we lived like 2 blocks away from it. Of course, we didn't know that at the time. And yeah, so they took us away. There was like this whole brigade of cop cars downstairs. They all took us in separate cars, like interrogated us for a little while. I just feel so bad for my parents because like, we put them through a lot of this shit, having to deal with cops. And yeah, you really don't want to be fucking around with authority, especially in a country like that. I've heard a lot of really scary stories.
When you say they interrogated you, can you describe that a bit more?
So me and my brother were locked up in different rooms. My mom was with me, and my dad was with my brother. So there's like these little soundproof rooms. They would have like 2 guys, 1 policeman, and a translator. like we were underage at the time, so we had to have parents with us. And yeah, they were just like drilling us with questions. Um, yeah, they initially thought that we were being taught by the American school or international school. Like they were teaching us all these things. So they were trying to get the school involved, which would have been really bad. I remember they were asking, like, where did you like learn about this stuff? We don't let this information out.
Mm.
And we were like, it's common knowledge. The internet is fucked there. Like YouTube is blocked, Google is blocked. You can't get access to any of this stuff without VPN. And so yeah, I think they were just trying to like figure out where we got the information from. And of course, at first they thought we were like working for some American spy agency or something. But yeah, it was just like maybe 5-6 hours of interrogation, questioning, and then they just kind of realized that we were dumb kids. So they kind of like let it go. Our parents had to sign some contracts, like saying that we wouldn't do anything like that again, and never did, at least to that degree, anything that stupid. Yeah.
So they thought you were spies, but meanwhile you'd just been using a VPN to watch some YouTube videos.
Yeah, exactly.
So that experience combined with growing up in China, it had an impact on your, I suppose, level of willingness to express yourself freely. Can you go into that a bit more?
I actually didn't really think about this much until recently. But yeah, that definitely had an effect. Again, like the programming, critical thinking, like growing up in a system, a school that's like tries not to teach you to question authority, to think for yourself. I'm sure that had an effect on me. And then this kind of stuff where if you voice your opinion, you will be punished. I'm sure that had like a deep subconscious grip on me. So yeah, it's not until very recently that I've started like breaking down some of that programming, and I feel like a lot more free expressing myself now. Yeah, and I think that kind of bled over to just like regular people around me because I've always been a very keeping to myself kind of person, and yeah, it feels really good to break that down and just speak my truth and retard max,
100%.
Yeah.
Mongoloid mode.
Mongoloid mode, that's good, yeah. Mongoloid Mac.
So what were some of the things that helped you the most on that journey of breaking down that programming, of being able to express yourself more? Because this is, even though yours is an extreme case, I think this is quite a common thing, even for dudes in Western countries, being so insular and like locked up within themselves. I think it's a really big thing.
A deep shadow work. It's been so like for the past 3 years. I kind of started having spiritual awakening of sorts, and yeah, just like really waking up to the thoughts that I have that kind of like keep me imprisoned within my own mind, and yeah, just really like becoming aware of the thoughts that cause this like nervous system panic mode within myself, and just like becoming more aware over time of the thoughts that don't feel good within my body, within my nervous system. And yeah, it's been a fucking journey of just becoming aware of the thoughts, and then just kind of like going deep within those insecurities within myself, and doing that over and over and over again. Just also doing the thing, like if you never try expressing yourself, you'll never get over that fear. So it's not until you actually do the thing, try the thing, put yourself out there, that you begin to like show your body, show your mind that it's okay to do that. And that's been a really big thing. Like something as simple as making YouTube videos, putting myself out on social media. It sounds kind of silly, but it's made a huge impact with just like me speaking and yeah, feeling safe, speaking my truth.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy that something as simple as making a video or, going up and starting a conversation with someone can put us into this fight or flight, like literally fearing for our life state. It's pretty amazing. Have you dabbled with psychedelics on your shadow work journey? Has that been a factor for you?
A little bit, but it's always been very recreational. So I've done psychedelics a handful of times, but again, it's always like it's not a very healing environment. It's like just with a bunch of bros, my uncles, watching UFC. It's not like that's something I really would like to do, is have like a proper like intimate experience where I can just like be alone with myself. That's something I've wanted to do for a long time, and I'm sure the time will come. But yeah, they're just like seeing that things aren't the way they seem on psychedelics. Like the first time I did acid, I just like never felt that way before, and just like feeling that amount of euphoria and just like seeing things differently was a very powerful experience. But yes, working with psychedelics is something I'd like to get into more, but I'm sure the opportunities will come when they're meant to.
Yeah, I can see you doing a 5 gram dose in that yurt, just locking in.
Yeah, I'd like to do that in due time.
Did you say Hindu time?
In due time.
Oh, okay.
In due time.
Yeah, so you've had this experience, you've been doing this work. At what point did you discover semen retention? Because obviously you probably couldn't get too much HD porn streaming in China.
Actually, funnily enough, Pornhub was, you didn't need a VPN for Pornhub, so like a porn was completely acceptable.
That makes sense,
China,
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that until now. But yeah, it was like super easy to access. But I can't remember a specific moment where I like realized semen retention was a thing. I was actually just thinking about this recently. There was a friend of mine when I first got into like lifting weights, bodybuilding kind of stuff. There was this friend who told me that bodybuilders, they would edge before going and working out to like get an increase of testosterone, energy, whatever. So I remember that was kind of like my first introduction to semen retention, even though it's not at all the way that I view it now. But I think I must have been like 16, 17 around then, and like from that point on, I just like never released. So I would like practice edging, but never really. I mean, like sometimes I would, but it wasn't like a spiritual thing. It was more just like, very much material results. And so yeah, I like from the age of like 18 onwards, I've been kind of edging, and it's only until like the past 2-3 years where I've like really started getting into it in like a more spiritual sense of just like physical, mental, spiritual mastery. But yeah, I've been edging for many, many years.
Nice. Yeah, it was similar for me before I fully locked in. What did you notice from that time when you stopped the edging and you started going full, let's say, semen retention or full God mode? What changed?
So it's like within the past few months, like since I started posting, like putting myself out on social media, that has been like a really big uh, catalyst for like just confidence and feeling safe, like speaking my truth. I had like a lot of anxiety and just like stress, social anxiety, expressing myself. And I think that's been a really big thing, is just giving me the confidence and the balls to really go for it and just not spend so much time in my mind. Yeah, I'd say that's the biggest uh, the confidence booster. Yeah, for sure. That's the biggest thing. I can't imagine like just doing something like this or posting videos. I would have this like severe like nervous system breakdown. When I would just like post a video to Instagram or something, it would be like really intense. A nervous system reaction. Yeah.
And since practicing God mode, that's changed. That's shifted for you.
Yeah. So like within the past like 2 months, I'd say I've actually made like some of the biggest like internal shifts within myself. Again, like the social media thing has been such a powerful tool for me. Literally, just like speaking ability, I would feel super uncomfortable speaking. I just never had confidence within my social skills, and literally just like filming videos, speaking to a camera has made such a massive impact. Improvisational speaking, like yeah, it's a big deal. I remember you were talking about that in one of your recent videos as well.
Yeah, I really think it's a meta skill for men. It's like an overarching skill that we should all master, is being able to speak. Because as a man, if you can speak, you can make your way in any situation. If you can speak, you can sell. If you can sell, you can make money. And so you can provide for yourself and a family just using your ability to speak. If you can speak, you can lead. If you can speak, you can inspire. You can help people have new realizations. You can take people to a higher plane of self-knowledge just through words. So it's a really crucial thing that I think a lot of men these days downplay and want to live in their own world and just do their thing. But when it comes to women, when it comes to money, when it comes to living in this world, it's a core skill that we have to unlock. And definitely one of the scariest things that you can do is to expose yourself, to share yourself, express yourself through words. But the rewards are worth it.
That's true.
So
Yeah,
continue.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, with the God mode stuff, what would you say to the guys who are practicing semen retention and they're still stuck in a lot of fantasy, a lot of lustful thoughts? They're still very preoccupied when they're around women by, I suppose, that program of trying to win a woman over, or trying to. A guy in the group yesterday posted that where he's getting stuck with lust is when he's in the company of beautiful women, feeling like he's not enough to just talk to them and just to connect with them, and finding a lot of frustration in that. And it's because he said he knows that he's spent so long depleting himself of his masculinity that it's almost like he doesn't feel worthy when he's in the company of attractive women to just connect. So what would you say to guys like that, who maybe they're on SR but they haven't gone God mode? They haven't let go of the edging, even the mental edging. They haven't let go of the lustful obsessiveness. What would you say to those guys?
I'd say it's a huge component. I'd say even more than like edging, just like the fantasizing and like mental foreplay. It's like it plays in even more than like the physical edging. Um, but yeah, just like when you're always giving away your power, when you like realize that you it's an idea that you're giving in your mind, you're giving power to this idea of this person in your mind. Like once you realize that, and you kind of like begin to practice like channeling this energy like towards yourself rather than like giving it away, that's like where the real magic happens. That's like where the real like shift happens, when you're not like so preoccupied in what everybody else thinks of you, when you're like not giving your life force to like these women or whatever it may be, whatever your like idol is, when you can just really focus and channel that energy upwards towards just becoming who you want to be. That's like where, yeah, the gold is. So you just like really got to stop like giving your power away to these ideas you've made in your mind, and just like realizing that it's all like a mental game. That's like really where the gold is. So you can begin channeling and using the energy for creation rather than just constantly giving away that life force.
Yeah, you stop looking for something outside of yourself. It's like you start investing in yourself more, and you become like a lighthouse. You become that beacon of energy, that pillar of energy that, the radiance that comes off you feeds other people and magnetizes other people, but you're not spilling or feeding that energy into an external. You're feeding it to yourself, and you're continually regenerating yourself, healing and renewing yourself, building yourself up. And that's what magnetizes people. That's what gives you that presence, that aura. That's what pulls the women in magnetically. So it's a big shift.
Just as much physical.
Yeah.
It's just as much physical as it is like metaphysical. Like it's channeling that literal fluid up your spine, as well as like channeling your life force energy towards conscious creation rather than like mindless giving away of this potent chi.
Yeah. Now, a big tool that's been helping you has been retard maxing. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm pretty new to the whole retard maxing thing. I guess like actually I think it was the first one of your videos where you talked about this, and then like right after that, Elisha Long's videos started popping up on my feed, coincidentally at the same time. And yeah, it's such a powerful concept. Again, it plays into this like giving power away within your mind to the idea of someone having power over you. Like when you can just get over that and realize that it's all in your head, you just like start taking action, taking like delusional, retarded action, mongoloid maxing. Just fucking do it. Like just don't overthink it. Like overthinking does nothing good for anybody. I've lived most of my life just in my head, and yeah, within these like past 2 months, again, it's like this whole social media thing, putting myself out there, but again, it's just like taking action, doing the thing, retard max it, just go for it, even if you don't feel qualified, even if you don't feel like you have the skills, the capacity, just do it, and you will thank yourself. Like, just be a retard. Don't spend time in the mind. Like, it's good to think about things, but rumination, that's where like real problems happen.
Yeah.
You just gotta fucking do it. Your soul is calling you to like take action towards something, and you know what it is, and you just keep preventing yourself because of fear, because of fear of judgment, whatever it may be. Like, you just got to get over it, just do the thing. And that's actually how you gain confidence, is like just retard maxing, do the thing. And once you do the thing, you show yourself that you have the capacity to do the thing. If you always like stay in the mind and you never do the thing, you'll never like show yourself that you actually have the balls to do the thing.
Mm. And it's like reality just comes around you and just throws you bones as you go on the journey. It just keeps revealing the path in front of you and giving you little aids, and you know those old school games where you'd be on a quest and you find clues along the way. You find like little boxes with question marks on them and you open them up and it's like another clue for the next step of the journey. That's what happens when you retard max, you know. When you analyze, when you try and think it through too much, you end up just staying in the same spot and refusing to move until everything makes sense, but it never will. And as soon as it makes sense, it'll only make sense for a few moments. Then you take another step and it doesn't make sense anymore. So it's like we just got to get used to this taking action, this moving, this flowing with the direction that the soul is pulling us, like you say, and we'll get support on the way. Like Alan Watts tells this story. Alan Watts, amazing philosopher and spiritual teacher, about it's actually about a movie he mentions. It's called Kentucky. I've never seen it, but he says in this movie, this man wants to get to a different country, and instead of coming up with an elaborate plan, he just goes to the beach and gets some balsa wood and straps it together with like some vines or some shit. And then he just pushes that balsa wood raft out into the ocean and just gets on his way. And so as he's going, he finds that the balsa wood starts to swell as it takes on some water. And as it swells, the rope or the vine that he's strapped it together with it bites deeper into the wood, so it makes it really sturdy and strong. So he's got this very strong vessel. And then, you know, he's traveling and, you know, falls asleep at night, wakes up in the morning, and there's all these flying fish on his boat. They've just flopped onto the raft, and he's got food. And it's like one thing after another, everything just keeps happening for him because he's the ultimate retard. And he just gets carried by the tides from island to island, and then he ends up landing on the beach of this country he was trying to get, just completely retardedly. So it's a very powerful thing.
Yeah, man, that's really a good story. Like in one of your videos, you were also talking about Forrest Gump, and the main takeaway after I watched that movie was like I had this like really visceral feeling while I was watching it. I was like, I just gotta fucking take action. I just gotta do it. I watched it for the first time like 2-3 months ago, and my main takeaway was like, this guy is like full on retard maxing, literally. And look at where he is. Look at the things you can do when you just fucking take action. Like overthinking is not gonna get you anywhere. You just gotta take the step. There's this great quote I heard. Can't remember who said it, but like the path. You know you're on the path when you don't know what the next step is. Like the path will reveal itself to you as you walk the path. If you can see where your path is headed, it's not your path. Mm-hmm. So you just gotta trust the process, surrender to life, and yeah, just retard max, take action. And the more you take action, the more divine synchronicities and like miracles will flow into your life. You just gotta trust the process and continue taking action wherever your soul is guiding you.
Yeah, I mean, because how can God really work through a man who thinks he's got it all figured out? Who's already got a set plan? Like, how can God unveil miracles in your life if you're just stuck to this rigid path? You've really got to get yourself to this place where you are in that surrender, in that unknown, before the real exciting shit can start to unfold. You know, I've lived in that that state of unknown for a while now, and only in, I would say, the last month that I've really started surrendering very deeply to it. I've got a family now, and it's a step up in terms of stress and pressure, and that feeling that you have to provide as a man. And I've found that rather than allowing this situation to create more stress for me, rather than allowing it to make me feel that I need to control more, I'm finding that it's allowing me to learn to surrender even deeper. And the last couple of weeks I've had to really go within and really surrender deeply to the unknown. And I'm finding that I'm becoming a lot more peaceful. I'm becoming a lot more free. I'm becoming a lot more open to just those subtle whisperings of life and of God. And it's amazing, bro, because I used to stress out so much. I used to be so stressful and so worried, so obsessed with having a plan. But it's becoming less and less for me, and that's real freedom. That's true freedom. It reminds me of another book I read, The Surrender Experiment. Have you ever heard of that one?
I think I've heard of it, but I've never read it.
So this dude, he's at university, he's just a kid, and he starts getting into meditation. He discovers meditation, and he goes deeper and deeper in his practice, and he starts to realize that the ego is this constant chatterbox in his mind that never shuts up, and he decides that he wants to be free from it. So he gives himself this challenge that he's going to surrender to whatever life brings. Kind of like, it's basically Retard Maxine. Like, whatever life brings, he's going to go with it. He's going to surrender to it and not fight it. And so, one thing after another, he gets given these opportunities and he just says yes. It's kind of like Yes Man. And gets given an opportunity to teach at the university. And then he gets given the opportunity to start teaching like yoga and meditation, spirituality, the stuff that he's been diving into. And then he decides he wants to build himself a house. So he builds himself a house out in the woods. But then people start coming because they want to be around him and learn meditation from him. So he starts teaching meditation, turns it into like this retreat. And then it ends up growing into this huge commune. All these people live there and they build a temple. And then after he builds the temple, someone wants him to build them a house. So he becomes a builder. And then he starts building houses for all these different people. And, his original intent was just to become free from the ego, to become enlightened. But all this stuff ends up happening, and he just keeps surrendering, keeps using the events of life as an opportunity to surrender even more. And then this is probably in the 80s, so the computer is just coming online, and he discovers the computer and he starts getting really interested in it and building his own computers. And then he ends up creating his own software just as a hobby. But then someone sees it and says, this is like revolutionary. So he starts selling it. And then he builds this $1 billion company. He's got $1 billion company. And this is just a guy who started off being a yogi and ended up becoming a billionaire. So it just goes to show you that you never know where life is going to take you. But in the words of David Hawkins, the universe constantly optimizes for the highest possible good in every situation. So that's the default mode of the universe. If we can just learn to let go and trust that, it will optimize our life for us. The problem happens when we try and control the process. That's when things turn out shit. But when we surrender to the flow of what life is carrying us towards, it'll just take us to the highest possible level, the highest potential that's available for us. So I just think that's really powerful. And as dudes, we got to, pull our heads out of our asses and just be retarded and just trust that everything's going to work out for our highest good.
Yeah, man, that's super powerful. I think like the most masculine thing a man can do is just kind of trust within the process, trust within kind of basically surrendering to the divine. It's funny you say it, like the more peace you feel, the more you kind of let go, the more peace you feel within yourself. I've also been experiencing that. Like the more I just kind of retard max and let go, I just like kind of get this. My like nervous system is the calmest it's ever been. Yet I'm like taking more action than I have in my whole life, and it just feels really good to just trust and surrender and just like fucking let go. Retard max, fucking let go, trust the process, just like be open to what life has to offer you, and magical things will happen.
100%. So, brother, you're sharing on social media. Where can people find you? I'm going to put a link underneath, but...
Sweet. Well, my Instagram is alignment by Iden. I think it's the same thing as my YouTube channel. So Instagram, alignment by Iden. YouTube, alignment by Iden. And I have a X, a Twitter. I haven't been using that much. I want to get more into writing. That's something I really want to start doing again. And then I just started TikTok as well. It's pretty gay, but trying to get on all the platforms. But yeah, like YouTube and Instagram, that's where I've been recently. Just trying to get like one piece of content out every day, just like get in the groove of consistency. And the more I do it, the better I get at speaking. Again, like just speaking is something I've had such a big struggle with, and like semen retention and just like retard maxing. Those two things are like by far have like changed my life. And
yeah, it's a killer combination. And so you help men, and in what way can men work with you? What are you offering with what you do?
So this is something I'm still kind of working on. I'm like very much into holistic health. I have like completely transformed my own body. I'm like the healthiest I've ever been. So I can help with like physical health, spiritual health, mental health. It's like a very broad holistic health, masculine integration. Like I have a lot of experience with like exercise, nutrition, as well as like shadow work, like integrating all your deepest, darkest shit. And just fucking taking action, getting out of the mind, doing the thing. And then physical health. I'm like really dialing in my own physical health. I'm like super into holistic, naturopathic stuff. And that's just about it. Physical health, mental health, spiritual health, like masculine, healthy embodiment, feeling safe within yourself, and like showing up, grabbing your life by the balls, and really, showing up for yourself and for the people around you, so you can be a beacon of light and hope for the world.
That's epic, bro. So if that sounds like something that you want to do as a man, tap into your deepest level of power by becoming spiritually, mentally, physically peak, then check out Aiden's work. He's got a lot to share. Well, brother, this has been fun. Thank you for jumping on with me.
Yeah.
And
appreciate the opportunity. honored to be on this second episode.
Episode
of your
2, baby.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Stuff.
You take care, brother.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
I'm sure we'll talk again
Right back
soon.
at you. For sure, man.
Enjoy that yurt.
Thank you, man. I will.
Definitely
it's pretty late, so I'm gonna get to bed.
Yeah, you should definitely drop 10 grams of
brother.
shrooms in there sometime.
I really should. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while.
All right, brother.
When the time is right.
When the time is
All
right.
right, man. Much love.
Much love, bro.
Peace, peace.